know if he doesn't have help. I think you do have to make some type of rotations around the runes and everything, but I just think this is why this DK is so good versus the Ember. It's like, even if you rotate supports, he's still so tanky that you might not even be able to kill him. It looks like he's gonna go for 2 bracers as well to make him even more tanky. So we'll see what happens. I think in general, though, you do have to do something about the DK to make sure he doesn't get that level 6 and just take your tower and shut down the Ember.
Yeah.
But we'll see if this matchup is as bad as we're afraid it's going to be, or if Nico can just kind of hold his own here and manage to at least go even in the CS department, or just lose slightly. As long as it's not like a situation where he has more denies on the DK than you have CS on the Ember, it might be manageable.
We'll have to find out. Like you said, this double bracer build that no one's going to go down into, it's going to make it very difficult for Niku to be able to at least play around in regards to last hitting and potentially ganking no one. So at the moment, we saw in the early series was very, very one-sided to the boys on Tundra. Hoping we're going to get a couple more closer games here in a second series to follow. But again, you'd have to say Entity are definitely the favorable ones coming into the series as a whole, not looking at the draft, just looking at the players. This is a team too. Entity, they've been a little bit shaky so far in the qualifiers overall so far with, Bet Boom and Dream League. They got, man, it must be so rough as well. In Dream League, they lost to Tundra in the upper bracket qualifier series, and then they lost to Team Secret in the other qualifier series. So to have 2 chances and losing both of them would be pretty demoralizing, but hopefully they've learned from that.
What's interesting here is that, yeah, DM and Hitomi are just pulling the line behind the wave there. I'm not sure if that's worth it, because now you're just going to get Faceless Void, just like a free deny in CS. But anyway, they put some pain on the Riddies a little bit there. I'm just still trying to wrap my head around it, what was the purpose of that one? Maybe they're just trying to get the range creep, I think. But Riddies just stunned them, didn't allow him.
I saw DM starting to body block as well. I know there's been some people where you try and just completely body block the wave so your wave goes under the tower. I don't know I think Riddies stunned to try and stop DM from doing that. So of course he stopped it straight away. So I don't know if they were going for the range creep like you said, or just trying to mess with the equilibrium.
I think that's more likely the case, that Riddies made a good play there, stopping them from doing something, as opposed to them just trying to harass the line, right? Because that would make no sense to me, that they're just trying to make his life hard and give Void a better. So yeah, good job by Riddies there to just force them one way or another, right? Just the fact that they stopped them from either killing a range creep or blocking it so the lane pushes. That's the big problem with Radiant right now, at least in the safe lane, is that it just starts right in front of your tower. Right? It's literally right there. So if you just do any bit of blocking, the lane will push backwards, and that's something you just don't want to have happen. Playing carry in the safe lane of Radiant is really not enjoyable in this current patch.
It's even
looking at it's so hard.
Looking at the other safe lane with, of course, Watson and Fishman up against the double range of Daze and PMA. Is this a concern of the double range potential spam? I mean, we know Techies is a stupid laner, and potential Wyvern could be a little bit frustrating as well. Is Watson actually going to have a fine time?
Oh, he's Meepo. This hero does not care about almost any lane in Dota.
All right.
Because you're really tanky. You have a Ransack, which is a lifesteal, right? So you kind of regenerate a lot. You got good armor, you got good HP, and then of course, guess what? Riddies is dead. And of course, other than that, you do have your ultimate becomes available at level 4. Worst case scenario. And then you're either going to bully the lane or go jungle like a beast. Good old Meepo.
Yes, that could be potentially nice for Fishman to be able to soak up some of that experience. We'll see what, if he does get the lane, what gold he wants to go into early on.
Lotus time.
So we'll take a little bit of damage here momentarily. Daisy, we're going to try and jump over the top. The blast off will miss onto Watson. In what mid lane, actually? Really early rotation out of Katomi, and this is going to result in a kill onto Niku. Beautifully done. I mean, this is already a super favorable matchup for no one, and then Rubric already swings over to try and make it even worse for the mid laner and Navi Jr.
Yeah, I would. I know some players that would no longer play the game as an Ember Spirit if this sort of happened to them. Bad matchup plus gank. Yikes.
Fun times.
And then
yeah.
Fishman's dead potentially here. Oh! Nah, he's done. That's something at least. Man, they're doing pretty well in this Wyvern Techies lane. I mean, as they should. 2 ranged heroes, as you mentioned before, pretty strong in the laning department, especially when both those ranged heroes happen to be universal heroes.
Very cool.
Make it even better. Yep, the double universal lane is always very fun to play against. So that's the one lane that's going good. It's not even going well. It's going good for them. But Faceless Void is also technically Faceless Void is doing really well too. There's just that one little misstep from Riddies. Make that 2 as he gets cliffed into the high ground up there and has to TP out. Watson
So far.
on the top lane. He might actually be dead here.
Oh, he's definitely dead. Watson playing in kind of no man's land. I mean, I guess Fishman was dragging the wave back, so didn't have the support to try and protect him. Double wave getting pushed out. Now, a lot of golden experience for NAVI Jr. And like you said, this double universal lane, it really going well for them at the start. And they may even be able to get another kill as well. They've already used the blast off. Nonetheless, it is a lot of harassment into the Venge, who I guess has some tangos to be able to repair some of the damage.
I mean, I wasn't sure if I've seen Watson play much Meeple, so I had to do a little quick checkup to see how his Meeple is, and he's got 5 matches on it, but only a 40% win rate, so his Meeple still might be in training here.
At least if side lanes aren't going too well, you've always got a mid lane to ruin their life even more.
And Watson again.
Another death for Watson. Okay. This top lane for Navi Jr. off to an incredible start. They have to go back to mid lane though with the level 6 out of no one. They will have a dive onto Niku. This time he's going to be closer to the tower.
Fishman top too.
All right. Man, Navi Jr.
Yeah, they're showing up. I mean, the only lane that's problematic for them is just the mid lane, but it's a pretty big problem. Remember I was saying, like, as long as it's not a situation where the DK is level 6, the Ember has less CS and the DK has denies, yeah, that's the situation. We've got 18 denies, and we've got 14 CS on the Ember, so it's a yikes in the mid lane. DK also popped his ult. He's hitting the tower there. He's got a catapult wave coming. Niku's really having a rough one in the mid lane. Of course, a lot of this has to do with Kataomi making rotations to make a bad matchup even worse. But it doesn't really change the problem that no one is a problem in this game. But I don't think that, like, makes the game feel unplayable just because you have a Void free farming.
Yeah.
You have a Wyvern farming, and Meepo, like, he's died twice before level 4. That's almost unheard of. This hero, I've never seen die 2 times before even getting level 4. So that's like a dream start if you're playing against Watson, I'd say.
And hang on, I'll hold that thought because again, Niku. I mean, this time they're gonna bring an extra support instead. So you got Fishman, just in case another stun is required. If one support wasn't enough, why not bring a second with the DD and the catapult wave still? So yeah, this is the big issue for Navi Jr. And we're really going to see how much the Wyvern can do as this game goes on. Because not only are you a counter to the Meepo, but that Arctic Burn % damage is going to be very difficult for the Centaur and this Dragonite as the game goes on as well.
Oh, and the Meepo, especially if he turns into Mega Meepo, right? You get like 1 billion HP. That percentage-based damage is quite good. That's kind of why people pick the Wyvern against the Meepo.
Okay, they got it. But is it?
At what cost?
Actually get some kills, yeah. Well, we'll see. Katomi's going to be able to TP out and Fishman.
Oh, that was a beautiful play. It doesn't work, but I loved it.
Very cute though.
Agros Ancients. Very nice. But yeah, back to the Wyvern against Meepo. If the Meepo wants to play with like multiple Meepos, right? The curse is good against it. if he wants to turn into the Mega Meepo, the Arctic Burn is getting sent. So you have an answer on both fronts against Meepo, which is what makes this pick so good.
What do you think the talks need to be for Navi Jr. at the moment? Because we know no one, his next movement's going to be the bottom. You've already unlocked this tier 1 tower mid. Maybe you're probably going to wait for the power rune, which will be up in a couple of seconds. We'll see if Navi Jr. get lucky with the top spawn. Unfortunately not. But yeah, what do the talks need to be for Navi? You looking to defend bottom or maybe just make your own play top?
Make your own play. I don't think you want to fight into this DK right now. DK is like a Timbersaw that's fed. You just stay away from him. I really think you stay away from him. And you don't have the damage to kill him. Well, he has 3 points in Dragon. Yeah, I don't think you can kill him as long as this team is there. 3 points in Arctic Burn. It's close. There's a chance, but it would have to be like no one being alone. But they made the call. They're gonna go.
All right, let's see. Got the juice. Chrono with the ready. Who do they want to target though? Move over towards the Centaur first. Of course, has the Stampede. That's where the Chrono's going to come into play. But nice Hoof Stomp covering the escape. And there's a couple TPs down to bottom as well. Of course, Nico uses his. PMA does as well. And meanwhile, Watson getting some much needed catch up back inside the jungle.
And they weren't sure if they had enough damage to just kill him with the Chrono there. So he was a bit hesitant. But he should have just done it because Ember decided to commit to that. And that's a bootsless Ember, right? He decided to come to that with no boots, so he's gonna have to slowly walk. And poor Niku, man, his game is so bad. But they're gonna go. They're gonna find Katomi at least.
He's gonna run into no one. Oh, they're not even gonna kill into Katomi. I'm gonna move away. No one. Let's see. You said it's the beefy Timbersaw. 1500 health they have to go through. It's gonna take them quite some time. It's a Chrono onto 2, but got the juices, minimal damage, especially when you have a Rubik along with Avenge mitigating all of your damage as well. So first Chrono in the game, completely wasted.
Yeah, and no one, he also has... Oh, there's also another item we talked about that is incredibly strong this patch, and it's the neutral item Safety Bubble. Yeah, I got problems with this item too.
What are the... Let's see them.
I mean, this item's just too good. You just get 100 HP barrier every 5 seconds. And then 5 HP regen. So you're just always sustaining. You just have like permanent uptime for jungling. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple of those neutral items, right? And you brought up in the lot, was it the Light Collector? The one that we kind of was undervalued for a little bit, and now you're seeing a lot more people pick it up.
Yeah, it just gives you so much. I didn't even know until I read it that it gave you move speed. And then I was like, oh, wow. Okay, this item's OP, I think.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
10% move speed's a lot.
Dire's structures are
Even the Whisper of the Dread too, right? 150 mana, it gives you, I mean, it reduces your daytime vision, but what, for increase in spell damage? For a lot of people, I mean, you're definitely going to take that without a doubt. There's some very interesting new neutral items at the moment.
I mean, I never take it as a carry player, but mid laners like it.
Cool. Are they looking to try and start this? So once again, going to try and slow down his game as much as possible, but it does mean that no one will be up top to defend the tower. So it's a 6 hours of net worth lead though. This is horrific if you compare the DK to the Ember. That's pretty much where a lot of the gold is currently, and it's rough to see the fact that both entity supports are only a couple hundred behind Niku. So this is going to be... he's top 50, top 70 in the EU leaderboards. Let's see how he's going to be able to come back in a very, very unfavorable matchup.
Well, I don't know if he's going to come back in the matchup itself, but maybe he can get some pickoffs on other heroes. He's at least going to play with a little bit of fire here, doing a good job just dragging attention. He got 3 heroes to show there, but they really want this power rune. There's a trap there, and they're like, no, we're not going to go with that. Without Lion being level 6, and he's not even that close, he just hit level 5. They need that Finger of Death to be able to do something, but meanwhile, looks like we'll have a smoke rotation from, what, just the supports here?
Who they're going to run into is inside the jungle. Does have some mines nearby to act as a bit of a deterrent for Fishman. Why a little bit hesitant? I mean, Daze wants to go in. Riddies is now going to swing over to the left, but looks like it will be a bit too late though. So Daze will go down.
Two supports speeding up. Poor old techies there. But other than that, like, not much happens there. Right? But Nico in the mid lane, unfortunately, getting harassed here. And this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see DK. A lot of DKs were going Midas in the last patch. I think you just scrap that and you go for, why not, Mage Slayer. Just pick up a Mage Slayer. Gonna be really good this game on the Dragonite here. It allows you to not only just do a lot of extra damage, but you become that much more tanky too with the extra magic resist and the passive.
Big escape forgot the juice if he can get away. There's multiple TPs down bottom from Entity. You might be in a position where you need to smoke now to get back across the map for them. Radiant, they're starting to come down with their own smoke though. It isn't Daze leading the shot. That's the person you do not want to run into. 1800 health. With the effective health you have as well with the Mage Slayer, he is unkillable with Avenge and Rubik standing behind him. So back the other way goes Navi Jr. And, well, DM, he's going to jump over. You've got the blink ready to go. With the blast off and the chain control, it'll be perfect. Entity, what are we up to? 3 deaths. And the net worth on the Ember continuing to take a hit. That's the gold now required for no one's blink too.
And that's a scary timing, right? You got Centaur with Blink Veil now. You've got the DK with a Blink Mage Slayer. That's all you need to go. And, like, Watson, he doesn't really have to do much for now. He's just kind of, like, on catch-up duty. And I say catch-up, but he's already, like, had enough space to be second in net worth now, thanks to no one and the supports rotating all the way across the map. I guess DM, too. He's been part of some of these kills, too. But I think DM is going to start becoming... He's going to be hunting for blood now, as you look at them just dive.
That's deep. It's very deep. Riddies is going to be enough to keep his core alive. It's not. They stole the finger as well. Katomi zaps away Riddies' health. And now PMA and Niku TP'd in, but they've got no boys to play with, and they might be ready to go if they want to on Entity. Things up surely, but of course the read from Navi. I mean, they are underneath this Observe Ward. No one. That's the start. The rest of Entity... a little bit far away with the follow-up chain control, so Niku's able to get the Remnant down to the low ground. 2 kills, and you are continuing to take the map away from Navi Jr.
They don't have much map to play with there, especially they brought 5 heroes down there. If you count the Void dying, right? They ended up being 5 hero spot. Meanwhile, Watson's just cleaning up the whole map. You're getting kills on Entity.
Fishman.
Okay.
Run into the Vengeful Spirit up on the high ground, but this gives ample time for no one to be able to react. I'll catch up to Katomi as well.
They'll get the supports.
Not bad. That's what you need out of Navi. So it will give you time to hopefully de-ward your own jungle, get some lanes shoved out as well.
Definitely a nice breather. You're going to get some space to just get a little bit more farm, and very rarely do you see at 15 or 16 minutes in the game an Ember without even a Mage Slayer. But he's still not even close, man. Like, his net worth is like a support right now. Katomi's net worth is pretty much the same as Ember's at the time. And this is what he needs. He needs to hit these creeps, try and get back into this game. And he needs time. He needs a lot of time. And so does the Faceless Void. They both need time. Faceless Void is doing good in the farm department, but him and the Wyvern are the only ones that have like a decent amount of farm. I guess they're doubling down with the Mage Slayer because it's just an item that, you know, the good heroes buy. And Wyvern's no exception. He's going to end up buying that one. Dragonlance, Switchblade, all this good stuff. He's going to have to end up becoming more the carry. I think Niku at some point is just going to be the distraction, I guess, the initiator, just some type of control. Because the damage likely won't be coming from him this game in particular, if they are going to succeed.
Juice. Nice read. Interesting board for them to be able to play with, but again, really the big question is the damage and the save inside the Chrono, and surely I imagine Entity, they're going to be talking about potential Roshan as well, with the minus arm, with the Meepo, the Vlads too. Oh, no one, those reactions, instant blink.
Yeah, that was quick. I don't know if those were reactions or he just wanted to get out of there, but either way, that could have been his death because they yet again rotated 5 heroes down there to make something happen. And the warding's interesting here. They have like a ward behind the tower. on the Dire side you just saw there for a second, and then a good ward there, which I think Entity is now aware of when no one blinked out of there, because he should have been in fog, and I think he heard the animation blinking out. So now he knows that is there, and they're just gonna go back and farm a little bit, just because they realize, hey, what's the #1 way to throw a game? Typically, when you're winning a game, the enemy team groups up, right? Because the map gets smaller, and then you tend to get a little bit greedier and spread out and make solo plays, and just you die to these 5-man stacks. Like, oh, they're 5 men. And anyway,
that's the one person you really don't want going down, especially with the strong start that Wyvern's had. But PMA had a great lane, but unfortunately first death of the game and right in front of the pit, and Enti easily going to be able to clean that up now.
Yep. Disperser online for Watson here. Oh, that was another item that was incredibly good right now. Good old Disperser. This is kind of what makes Meepo good. It's just like an AoE purge, right, for all your Meepos. Super nice. You have multiple ways of disengaging. You can either dig with a shard, you can Aghanim Scepter, or disperse. You can become very difficult to kill if you are ahead in the game as a Meepo.
Oh, hang on. They're going through the portal. Reddy's and got the juice, trying to catch up to the Meepo, looking to get rid of the Aegis straight away.
Meepo popped Disperser and ran away like the wind. You can't catch someone that has Disperser buff on them.
It's a very interesting build for Katomi as well. I know there are, of course, some mid Rubiks, and Thompson's playing in a decent chunk, and a Mac over in Southeast Asia is also playing it for the boys on Geek Fam, going the Phylactery, but I haven't really seen support Rubik go Phylactery, especially in the pro games as well. So I wonder kind of what the justification was in particular for him wanting it this game. Days. Jump on a DM. Instant use of the ultimate's not going to mess around too much. Doesn't want to give an opportunity for Navi Jr.
I feel like it's just one of those items that if you're ahead really far, it just helps you stay ahead with even more damage. So you can see, it's just a huge nuke now. It adds a little bit of slow too. It's a greedy, let's put it that way. It's definitely a greedy item for the Rubik, but if you're feeling yourself, you feel like you're winning the game, you feel like you're gonna scale, and you don't really need the saves, you already have a Venge, right? And this Venge is going to be doing most of the saving, and your cores are super tanky. You can kind of just be another threat, right, in the team fights, instead of just being someone that keeps your teammates alive. Speaking of staying alive, can Lion.
Maybe no one should be able to catch up to him. Reddy's another stun. We'll make him work for it. Has to duck into the trees to be able to potentially stay alive. No one. Does he read it? Oh, well, okay. I mean, there's another important kill happening across the map, though. Watson Fine's got the juice. Meanwhile, Fishman does go down solo, I believe, to Days. But, I mean, yeah, importantly, losing the Faceless Void there is really huge for Navi Jr.
It is indeed. And Wyvern...
probably dead too as well, maybe? DM Stampede in a couple seconds, Watson. Never gonna use it.
I mean, he saved his own life by getting Sleight of Fist on the DK, and once you apply that Mage Slayer debuff, it cancels Blink Daggers for like 8 seconds. It's nice.
Oh, you should last for 9 seconds, right? I feel like 8's not long enough.
I mean, I just made up that number. It might be more. How long does this last? It lasts 6 seconds.
It feels like so much longer. It's just
it is 9 seconds then, because it's 3 for Blink itself, right? So the 6 seconds of the Mage Slayer, then the extra 3. So there you go, 9 seconds. You can't blink once you get hit by a Slight. So you got your wish. 9 seconds.
9 seconds, lovely, great item. Maybe it needs to be 10 seconds and set it all up. Then yeah, then maybe everyone could buy Mage Slayer. Oh, why not? You justify it even position 5s. You know, maybe Venge is like, you know, screw the Aghanims this game. Just go Mage Slayer.
I mean, she already said that and went for Vlad's, which makes sense actually this game because you're playing with Meepo. This item, it's very nice to have a Vlad's and you have a Meepo on your team. Oh no, Riddies, get out of there. All right.
Days too. Wait, Days? Are they gonna kill it? They're not gonna kill it. Oh my god. And they're gonna TP the void now.
No way.
No way, dude.
All right.
Oh my
I mean, Navi
god.
Junior is having a hard time even beating the Tormentor this game, let alone they've got Entity to play against. So it's a yikes. It's a bit of a yikes.
I mean, you brought up in the last series, right? The fact that a lot of teams have difficulty wanting to take their own Tormentor just because the economic damage are going back to your side of the map, and the fact that takes so long is what it did. You have to TP in an extra hero, then everyone has to run back to base because of how low they got. I mean, we're after the 16,000 net worth lead, and it's 23 minutes in.
You want to know why Meepo's strong this patch, outside of the fact that he buys all the good items? He can solo the Tormentor.
Yeah. One of the few ones left, right? They kind of nerfed a lot of the potential of those heroes. I mean, the Dazzle was really a big one that came to mind, I suppose, and a lot of others too. Yep.
TA got hurt really bad when she couldn't... Like, I don't even understand the point of that change, you know? It's like... They made it so TA can't solo Tormentors by adding a small damage over time effect to the Tormentor. But they're like, nah, Meepo, you can do it, it's fine. Ursa, yeah, you're good. You guys are fine. But TA, screw you, man. We will not have this.
Someone at Valve really likes Meepo, I don't know. Trying to keep this hero in just as long as they possibly can, and then unfortunately nerfed in the bin, and then potentially going to come back in a little bit of time, but...
I mean, I just don't understand. Like, it was literally TA the only hero. It was the only hero that cared about that change that they made with the damage over time. Just because it kills refraction. They just really didn't want TA to be able to do the Tormentor.
He may be unkillable. I know we spoke about the Arctic Burn, but 2700 health and a couple of heroes standing behind you as well. So, I mean, Entity are respecting Navi, though. They really only got a T2 tower out of the Aegis. I mean, sure, the gold has gone up pretty drastically after getting the Aegis as well, but they do not want to give this opportunity because, like you mentioned in the draft, I guess one of the big positives to Navi Junior's lineup is their raw team fight power.
Yeah, it is. You never want to group up too much against a Wyvern and Faceless Void. Some of the big AoEs of the game, alongside like your Tide and Magnuses. So, just keep getting your gold lead. Just don't let them take the fights, as you'll kind of watch as Navi Junior walk around the map. They're not really farming that much, because... Oh, okay, Watson's going in, though.
Why not? They've had enough for waiting around, and just to kill into attackies, and back to farming we go. So, reveal some of the ward location. No one's got an Orchid, too. Okay, so... one of the more farmed Dragon Knights that I've seen in a while.
This is the most farmed Dragon Knight I've maybe ever seen. He is massive.
Niku, oh, Katomi got him. Well, then it is one form of control, and then Watson's going to be able to cover the rest as well. As meanwhile, they also get rid of Riddies. No one running into the higher ground with not really anyone playing behind him. But again, like we said, he's got nothing to fear. Teammate's going to be able to fly down to the low ground, but the rest of Entity starting to swing on over Watson as well, jumping in aggressively. No real rebuttal in the end from Navi Junior. They're going to push them away from setting up a formation to defend this T2 tower. Yeah, another objective that goes the way of Entity.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Well, Katomi has finally done it. He has bypassed the Ember net worth.
Radiant's top tower.
Oh my.
That was his goal for the game, I think. Yeah, mid lane... We need to see some more DK against Ember. And, like, I say this every single time, right? I'm just like, you know, maybe the Ember will be okay this time. And unfortunately, this wasn't even a fair example because Katomi just destroyed the Ember that was already destroyed. So it was like... It was painful to watch.
Yeah, right. We didn't get to see the true 1v1 to be able to test out, like, this current patch, still how favorable it really is for the Dragon Knight, but... See, this is actually Fishman. This is very aggressive just to deal with the Venge, and Fishman. I mean, he's not even gonna die. You drop a Chrono Eclipse onto 2. Fishman's actually gonna sacrifice his life, help keep his support alive, and meanwhile, DM, he can just eat all the spells, eat all the damage. Because look at Watson. the perfect wraparound, the positioning out of the Meepo, catches the Wyvern on the back line. And now they're going to be able to close the distance under the final remaining members on NAVI Jr. Another instant got the juice. And he's got more rounds of the Earthbind to catch up. G's drop. This is another beatdown. And, well, it's a separate series this time as Entity take game 1.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think this mainly just goes back to the point of mid lane, right? How early can you pick an Ember? That's always, like, the question. How early?